Sir.
Do not.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Do not
Yes, sir.
unload that
Yes,
on
sir.
my property.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You put that right back here,
Yes, sir.
and you go down. Don't you ever come back.
Yes, sir.
First of all, can you walk me kind of through everything that happened for you yesterday?
All right, so I work for Tidy Services. We pick up and deliver porta johns and roll off dumpsters and all kinds of stuff like that. I was going to Tinkertop Road in Daleville, Virginia, and the road is probably about 2.5 mile long road, and it's all gravel. And when you go through, you gotta go through a gate. I got the gate passcode on my phone. I put the gate pass in. And it's another white dude in front of, and that's very important the words that I say is very important for the narrative of the story. It's a white dude that works for another company in a truck in front of me. He's up there to try to stake the ground so when they don't hit any lines or anything. So we get up, we go up there, we see a sign that says speed limit 10 miles an hour. But going up this gravel road and up a mountain, you're not going to be able to go 10 miles an hour. You have to go a little bit faster. So when we pass this man's house, he jumps out, like right after the dude in front of me gets past him, he jumps out and he's like, yo, whoa, whoa, whoa. I'm thinking he's telling me where I need to put the porta john at. Excuse me. He says to me, y'all need to slow the F down and get the F off my property. I own all this up here, and y'all messing everything up coming up through here like this. I tell him, like, sir, I'm doing my job. I got to deliver up here to the very top. The man told me to keep going to I can't go no more. That's where he wants me to drop the porta john. He says, no, you're going to get the hell off my property. I was like, anyway, I'm doing my job. And I take off. Another key factor to this is when he stopped me right there, he didn't have the chest harness on for his gun. So as I'm driving off, I'm looking at my side mirrors and I see this man walking like behind my truck. I'm like, this struck me as weird. So when I get all the way up to the top, I look over as I'm backing in and I see the man still walking up. So first thing clicks in my head, you know what? His attitude and his tone was really foul when I seen him the first time. Let me set my camera up. Now I have cameras in my truck and everything, but it only catches so much. I set my camera up and I'm unloosening the straps. I'm pushing the porta john to the back of the truck. He's walking up and he's saying something. I'm like, sir, I'm just doing my job. He's like, no, you need to get off my property. You're trespassing. I'm gonna call the police. I say, sir, I'm just doing my job. That's all I'm doing my job. So that's when he says, don't you put that shit on. And that's when he pulls the gun out. And that's when I said, yes, sir. Put it back on there, the whole 9 yards. And that's when I left. And when I got my truck, as I'm pulling off, I called my boss and they told me get to a safe spot, cut my hazards on, and the sheriff's department will be there. And probably maybe 7 to 10 minutes later, about 5 sheriff's cars pulled up. The man that was in front of me, so he talked to me first. Then when he went up there to talk to the man that was in front of me, he threatened him as well, but he didn't pull his gun out on him. He told him that he's gonna call the police on him. He was trespassing, but he never pulled the gun out. The man said he had the gun sitting around. He said he made it clear that the gun was visible, but he never pulled it out. And he gave me all his information and everything. So when I go to court, I'll be able to call him if I need to, or whatever the case may be.
So do you think the difference in treatment that you and your other coworker, who you said was white, do you think the difference in treatment from this man who pulled the gun on you was possibly racially motivated?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I wouldn't even trip if the dude would have came down like, man, he pulled the gun on me too. We'd have called the police because he pulled the gun on both of us, but he didn't pull the gun on him. So that's why I feel like it was racially motivated. Because if it's not racially motivated, why didn't you pull the gun on him the same way you did to me? And I'm posing no threat to you at all. I've got my back to a porta john, pushing a porta john off of a truck. I pose you no threat at all.
Right.
I guess he was telling me to take it off, and I kept telling him I was just doing my job. I guess he felt like he needed to escalate the situation. I don't know.
Okay. So, I guess what are your thoughts kind of walking away from that sort of encounter?
I was scared. I feared for my life. And it makes me not want to deliver in areas like that again. Because I don't like, if that can happen once, that can happen twice, it can happen again. And the reason I'm trying to get it out to the news outlets and to everything else, because I want to advocate for, if you're out there doing your job, you should not feel threatened by a person with a gun trying to tell you can't do your job and you've done nothing wrong. And if it could have easily escalated to something way different and way worse than what it did yesterday. I'm just glad that I'm a faithful Christian person, and I feel like it was God had my back. Because a few years ago, the humbleness would have been in me. It'd have been whatever it was, and I would have probably got shot. Like his fate, like the video shows it, but like being there, hearing it, and feeling it, and everything just right there on you is totally different. Totally different.
So watching the video, it's kind of shocking kind of how fast it all escalates. You know, he goes from just walking up to you and then suddenly this gun is out and he's telling you to get away and all that. So what was it like for you in your head, just those few seconds where it goes from this person's telling me to leave and then suddenly he has a gun?
In my head, it was, oh my God, what is he thinking about? Oh my God, I have kids. Oh my God, I pretty much saw my dad get shot and killed. Oh my God, you know what I'm saying? Like 1,000 million thoughts ran through my head. And I know that for 2 minutes, he had my life in his hands for 2 minutes. Because that's how long the video is, it's 2 minutes long. So I know for a fact you had my life in your hands for 2 minutes. I know this. For no reason though, like that's what I'm more hurt and confused than anything. Because I gave you no reason to pull a gun on me. No reason at all. Like I do so much like out here, like I've been refereeing football and basketball for the past 16 years. I do so much in my community. I'm not a bad dude. I'm just out here working, trying to make a living for me and my family. And that made, like, last night when I got home, I probably slept maybe 45 minutes last night through the whole night. Because every time I close my eyes, I see this gun. Or I hear him hollering at me. It's just it's not an easy thing to deal with right now. And I know I'm going to deal with it for a while, but I just got to figure out how to deal with it and not let it overwhelm me.
Right. So it's now that it's been about a day since this happened for you, what are your thoughts about any kind of resolution or what you hope happens from this incident?
I want him incarcerated. I want him to pay the fine. I want him to lose his gun license. I want him to take all his guns from him. I mean, and I say that because I know as a black man, if it was the roles reversed, they're going to strip me of everything. That's just how the system works. I know this. I've been through the system. I know this. You know, I know how it works. It's not like I'm not out to try to get revenge or nothing like that. That's not what I'm out for. I'm out for justice. That's what I'm out for. That's it. I just want justice for the BS that he did to me. And so he doesn't do it to someone else.
Do you think what happened is going to change anything about how you approach your job or any other deliveries or anything like this in the future for you?
It already has. It already has. Like, I'm going to be to the point where when I have to go to certain areas, I'm going to go ahead and call the police. Like, listen, I know how this area is. I'm have to work up here. Can y'all have somebody on standby? You know, like, I hate that it's like that. Because it's a lot of great places that I go where I deliver my porta johns. A lot of great people. A lot of great people. But when you have those few that just don't know how to act or don't respect others, you know, it makes it bad for everyone else.
Right.
But yeah, it's definitely going to change my outlook on how I do deliveries now. Definitely. Whether I'm delivering, whether I'm removing, it's definitely going to change my outlook on how I do.
So you mentioned that you had a family and thinking about them was kind of at the forefront of your mind in some of those moments. What are their reactions to kind of hearing that you'd been through this?
They was terrified. They were scared. Like, everybody was in shock and disbelief. Like, we're glad you're alive. We're glad you humbled yourself. We're glad this. We're glad that. Like everybody was like, that could have went wrong in so many different ways. And then my children, they looking at like, yo, why did he do this? Well, you didn't do anything wrong. Why did he pull his gun on you? Why did he say those words to you? You know, and as a father or as a parent, no matter how you look at it, it's hard to describe to your children at 10 years old, at 12 years old, exactly why this stuff happens to you and why it's never going to stop happening.
Wow, that would be a really hard conversation. I guess is there anything that I haven't asked you that you are thinking of, or anything that I may have missed that you kind of want to tell our viewers, or maybe even to this man who pulled the gun on you?
I just want to say to the viewers, if you do a job like mine, be careful, watch yourself. Always be on your P's and Q's, watch your surroundings. If you work for a company, make sure they have cameras in the trucks. Make sure if you're in a situation like that, make sure you get your camera out. Just be careful. And to the dude that did it, you didn't have to do that to me, bro. You could have easily talked to me and we could have figured out a resolution. We could have called the company or something. It's that simple. Now we're going through all of this that could have very well been avoided. Like I said, I'm going to advocate for this for as long as I can, because if it happened to me, it can happen to someone else, and I don't want it to happen to someone else, because the next person that happened to it could be a whole lot worse. That's why I reached out to all three news outlets right here. That's why I put it on my checkpoint page. That's why I put it on my page. That's what people sharing and trying to get West Virginia outlet stations to call me. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody knows how the world is, but if we can do our little part to try to make it better, why wouldn't we?
Doing my job, sir. I'm doing my job, sir. I'm doing my job.
So I'm the property owner?
I'm doing my job. I'm doing the job I was sent to do.
If you don't leave now, I'm going to have you arrested for trespassing.
I'm doing my job.
No, you're not. You're speeding down.
I'm doing my job, sir.
Don't load that,
Sir.
do not.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Do not
Yes, sir.
unload that
Yes,
on
sir.
my property.
Yes, sir. Yes,
You
sir.
put that right back here,
Yes, sir.
and you go down. Don't you ever come back.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Tear up my road like that. And after I made a contact with you, did it again. Maybe you ought to wait until afterwards to smoke pot.
I don't smoke.
Bull
I
smells like
don't smoke, sir.
reeks of it.
Hope y'all saw that for the gun on me, yo. I hope y'all saw that. Bitch put a gun on